Welcome back. It is still E-Splash, and we still got Lady Cat in the building. And of course, J. Paul in the corner, giving Chelsea, yeah. All right, so did you know that going on a self-discovery journey has changed some lives completely? Self-discovery is a fundamental pillar of self-growth. It is a journey that takes you from unaware to owning your own power and, of course, knowing your true potential. So if you don't know why self-discovery, aka knowing yourself, is important, do not sleep on this segment because we're about to tell you. This is Daily Top 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, watch me.
Okay, number one on our list today is to discover who you are. You cannot live a meaningful or fulfilling life until you get to know yourself, because on your self-discovery journey, you will discover who you are, you will discover your passions, your purpose, your strengths and weaknesses. So try taking time out just for yourself. And yes, be selfish, okay? Yes.
So I am learning to be selfish.
Oh, girl.
Because
You don't know
when
the
you're
half.
very selfless, it's a major struggle. So we're not saying always be selfish, but once in a while you need to learn to be selfish for your own good. For your own good, not just you being selfish. I don't care about anybody now. So, and there are different ways that you can be selfish for your own good. And the very first one is putting yourself first. You need to learn to put yourself first, learn to do what is good for you and not for others.
Yep.
Good for you first before good for others, and a long list, trust me, a long list of things.
I'm on that journey.
I wouldn't say I disagree with you, but I think that self-discovery is a journey that is never ending, right? It's never ending. So that's why some people find out that, oh, at some point they can draw. But meanwhile, you could have found out a long time ago. Like certain things start to come to you at a later time in life. But usually, that's why, I mean, we talked about last week, we're talking about parents finding their kids at a young age. You need to let them show what they are interested in. Don't force anything on them. Let them blossom and let them show what they are actually interested in. And then you get to see that they begin to discover themselves. I mean, we have cases where people as young as 40 years, below 30, are retiring. Like they've finished work. They don't want to work again. That's because they've done it all. All they want to do now is travel the world and enjoy their money that they've probably saved. That's self-discovery at a young age. So crowd mentality is what affects us the most in Africa. Crowd mentality, because everybody's been a doctor, because everybody's been an engineer. We go that route. So that's why I say take a moment from all the crowd mentality, stop and find yourself in that moment. That's why they say in your own reflection, you will find yourself. So that's it. That's what I
Well said.
Yeah.
All right, the next thing you need is to discover your potential. There is a reservoir of potential sitting inside you, and you never might discover it until you embark on your self-discovery journey. If you notice, we're still saying finding time for yourself, but in different ways. And this also goes back to what you just said now. You need to learn to discover more potentials of yourself, because like you rightly said, when you see more things, you should also now go back to work on those talents, and then you get better at it. Some people see some things and say, I can do this. Let me find that thing I can do. Why not be a master of this first? Learn it. If you know that you can pursue it, it might be useful for you in the future. So try to get better at that thing before jumping to another thing, instead of knowing a little about different things, and at the end of the day, you know nothing about anything.
All right, well, I will say, like, some people don't even have a niche like me. So, girl, that does not apply to me. But I think I'll just say in this way, like, sometimes you might not know that you're a good actress. For instance, I was saying Miracle on the show, like, I didn't know, like, when the show started, I didn't even know. But then when he had all the tasks that he had to do, he would absolutely kill it. And I'm like, they're definitely going to be looking for him in Nollywood. So some people actually have inbuilt talents that, because you haven't balanced to say, okay, this is what I like, you are losing money in life. You get, so you might be good with making hair. How would you know if you've never actually chilled one day and said, well, let me watch tutorials, can I do this and all that? So I think, anyway, that's what that's about.
So I'm just going to go into birth, for instance. So there's a reason why we're attracted to our parents, right? You find children of legends, for instance, who play football are playing football. I'm not saying that that's exactly what you're meant to do.
Yep.
So I have a situation where my younger sister sits down and said, oh, she has not been able to find herself yet. She said this to me, I'm into entertainment. My dad was into entertainment. She knows she loves entertainment, but she has not found what exactly in entertainment she wants to do. I said, take your time. Take your time. I know that, for instance, you like to write. You're a writer, so maybe that's your forte, but just take your time, find yourself in that region. So that's why I said there's a reason why you're attracted to your parents, for instance. It doesn't mean that, oh, because they are engineers, you have to be an engineer.
Yeah.
But you have been there, so maybe you take small out of that. Take, and then find your own at the end of the day, because you'll probably be a different engineer. Yeah. Maybe he's an aeronautic engineer. You are going to be way different. Maybe space shuttle or something. It's just different. Yeah.
I mean, I shall like this one because at the end of the day, our daily top 5, you people will still come and answer query. All right, number 3 on our list is to find clarity in life. As you get to know yourself and start to explore your interests, you will start finding answers to all your burning life questions from which career path to take. And I think we've already just talked about that already.
Yeah.
Like once you know your potential, automatically that clarity just comes and says, okay, you know what? I'm good at doing this. Why don't I now focus on this instead? And so I think we've already.
And there are even people that maybe they have a career path and they're doing something, and then later in life they get tired of those things. There are people that get tired of things easily.
And that's okay.
And then that's okay. It doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing. It also means that you're interested in other things. So if you're going to change your career path, you need to be sure that you're really interested in what you're changing to, and then start from the basic. Don't jump. Learn from the basic, because that little basic knowledge that you know might help you when you least expect. Okay?
That's right.
I mean, we've had situations where, I mean, we did it here. I think it was Daily Top 5 or something, where we did top Nigerian actors that switched from banking industry to acting industry. I mean, this was some people's passion before, you know, and they probably were doing it because they needed to get their hands on something, but they were not happy doing it. They were probably making money, but they were not happy doing it. Now, when you do what you love to do, you never get to work a day in your life. You know, you'll be working and making money, having fun. So that's it.
Okay, the next thing you need to do is to evolve into your best self. We were not made to stay stagnant. We were created to evolve. So as you embark on your journey, you will find yourself constantly evolving and unlocking better versions of yourself. Yeah. You know, this Daily Top 5 is just intertwined. Like, we're just talking about everything at the same time.
So evolution is, well, they say change is the only thing that's constant, and change can also be evolution. Some people can evolve backwards, so let's just be clear about that one. Like, when you're having coconut head, you don't want to learn. You start to evolve, but you're regressing. But let me just call it evolving backwards for this situation. But then evolution is very important. You're not going to be the same person in the next 1 week, safe. Then we start saying years. But then when you learn to evolve, you learn to get better, and then we're just doing plenty learning and learning and learning. Yeah. I think that brings us to the number 5, Sha, because it's to unlearn and relearn.
Just to quickly say something on this, this is probably the most important on this list, because a lot of people are stagnant where they are. They might have attained all the public office, they are probably directors, they are probably big men in their roles, but because they have gotten to that point where they are comfortable and, you know, they refuse to learn, they just stay there and they are blocking. And you know the thing about life is in motion constantly. So if you decide to be like a blockage in the blood vessel, for instance, the blood will start to flush itself. So life will begin to flush you. You that you want to be stagnant, life will flush you out of there so that there shall be motion. Because immediately you start to stop moving, you start to deteriorate. That happens in the body. When you get old, you can't move. You're stagnant in one place and you can't move, and then you start to get sick, and before you know it, it's time for you to go. So motion is very important. Development is very important. And I think we just need to pay attention to that.
All right, we've just been talking learning. Our number 5, to unlearn and relearn, because there are now different types of learning. Learn, unlearn, relearn. As you become more self-aware, you're going to start questioning and unlearning your self-limiting beliefs, mindsets, social conditionings, and all the things that have limited you from becoming all that you were created to become.
So to me, a perfect example of this one is what we see every day on social media. You see people who were saying, oh, I can never do this, I hate this thing. But the moment they have the money, those things that they said they couldn't do, they now do it, and then they enlighten people that, when you don't get money, you ain't never open up. So at the end of the day, it's just you knowing what you can do. And then when you learn some things and you realize later in life that what you learned was not right, you have to unlearn what you learned, then relearn the right thing.
Yeah, that's the only way to develop into the next stage. So for instance, we talk about culture, right? The culture of what was 10 years, 20 years ago, it should change. It should change because times have changed, people have changed. So now we look at that culture, take the foundations of it, and then rebrand it to fit this time and age. You can't be using the same thing of what was 100 years ago for this time and age. So that's what they mean by relearning, unlearning, relearning. So you have to constantly, it's like changing laws and policies. You have to constantly keep changing the policies so that it can fit this time and age. So that's what it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's a wrap on Daily Top 5.